So I changed my settings again, and you guys know that I normally don't do this a lot. I don't do it too often. I do it just after every single update, but this time I was like, okay, yo, I watched a TikTok video. This dude told me to do this. I did it. I don't usually listen to TikTok, and I gotta say, these settings are absolutely insane. If you want movement, if you want fast movement, if you want your game to look beautiful, all that kind of stuff, you've come to the right video, because I'm gonna go into great details talking about all these things and what you guys need to set to make your game look better and to also be able to play a lot better as well. Not just move faster and all that kind of stuff, just a whole lot of stuff in general. So let's get straight into those, guys. I'm gonna talk about these settings. First off, I want to say that, yeah, okay, I'm plat 2, almost plat 3, I'm like 36 off or 34 off, my bad. This is Warzone. I don't play Warzone too often. I've been playing it a lot recently just because I want to rank up and stuff, and I'm going to hit Diamond. I'm going to go for Crim, but I'm proud of myself, okay? I don't play Warzone much, so I'm kind of happy with that. By the way, guys, if we could drop a like on this, I would truly appreciate that as well. Now, I'm going to go into graphic settings quickly. I'm not going to talk about too much here. I just want to kind of just get into a few things, just for those of you guys who may have your game looking ugly and stuff. If your game looks very white or very gray, and it just doesn't look nice at all, you got to change a few things, okay? So one thing that I would definitely do, or at least consider if I were you guys, is to go into the brightness here and actually set it to where the not visible is actually not visible. So you see it right there. If you have it set to this and you could read the Call of Duty logo on that left side, it's not worth having, all right? You want to put that lower, and if that barely visible is super easy to read, you want to put that lower as well. This all depends on the monitor or TV you're using. For me, 55 is nice. I cannot see the one on the left. The one in the middle is a little hard to see, and the one on the right is easily visible. So that makes my game look the best, and pretty much you want to have that set right there. And then everything else here, I mean, you guys can go ahead, pause the video, kind of take what you want to take here. Pretty much that's about it. Texture resolution, I put mine very low. I don't think you guys have this on console or anything, but it is what it is. And then right here, obviously, world motion blur, turn that off. It is ugly. Weapon motion blur, turn it off. Again, it's ugly. If you have both of these on, your weapon and your game, every time you move, looks blurry. So if there's an enemy running by and stuff, they might blend into the blur and stuff, especially at a further distance, that you'll just not be able to shoot them. It's not worth having. You won't even see them. Turn film grain off as well, super ugly. And then pretty much that's about it. Put these to least, and then yeah, inverted flashbang off, obviously. So pretty much that's it, all right? That's all I'm going to talk about graphics. I don't want to go into graphics too much. What I want to go into is controller and audio. So first off, for controller, there's a few things you guys could do here, okay? So I obviously have my input set as controller. I could set to mouse, but I'm really awful at keyboard and mouse. So we're going to leave it as is. And then put your flipped on, okay? If you're on a PlayStation controller, play on flipped. If you're on an Xbox controller, turn it off. Just don't flip it. But if you're on a PlayStation controller, it just for some reason feels, once you get used to it, it just feels more natural to shoot and aim with the top triggers rather than the bottom ones. And not only that, it's actually a lot quicker as well. It's milliseconds faster. But in a game like COD where it takes milliseconds to drop someone, you want to be as fast as possible. So I set mine to these right here. There are trigger stops you could set for these, but if you have haptic triggers on and all that kind of stuff, it just messes with it. I wouldn't use the bottom ones at all. Then for the button layout, this is what I have set to stick and moved, and obviously it says flipped because I did flip it. Now stick and move, I personally prefer jump shotting over drop shotting. I feel like when you drop shot in this game, it is good in certain situations, but I just feel like jump shotting, especially wearing assault gloves, is just a better option, especially if you want faster movement, fluid movement, and stuff like that. Jump shotting is just the way to go, at least in my opinion. So I jump with this right here. I never have to take my finger off. I'm always aiming and jumping at the same time. I just feel like it's the proper way to do it. I'm used to it, but I know a lot of people prefer drop shotting with this button, so you could put it, I think it's bumper jumper. I don't remember which one it is, but for drop shotting, you just go ahead and go through these and kind of just see which one actually allows you to drop shot with it. But I prefer stick and move. It just makes me quick, especially with assault gloves. You're more accurate, you ADS a little quicker, I think, and all that kind of stuff. So I just do that a lot. So pretty much that right there. And then bumper ping, I have this set to off. And then pretty much everything else here, controller vibration off. Okay, guys, this, when your controller vibrates, your fingers move with that vibration, even if it's slightly, and you might be off accuracy a couple of shots. Now, it's not going to be a huge difference or anything, but it does make a bit of a difference in game. Personally, I turned off my controller vibration back in Black Ops 2, and I've never looked back. Now when I turn it on, I feel like a bot when I actually turn it on. So it's gonna feel very weird once you turn it off, and I'm being honest, guys, it's not just gonna last a game or two, it's probably gonna last a day or two, but once you get used to turning it off, you'll never turn that on again. And then pretty much right here, dead zones is one of the most important things, and this is what I saw in that TikTok video that made me change what I had. So normally I would have my left stick max at 60. I changed this roughly about a month ago. I used to have have it at 100, and then I turned it down to 60, and I noticed my movement was really quick and everything was really nice, and the left stick minimum set to 0. But then when I actually put this down to 40, because that's what the dude said to do in the video, I noticed that my movement is a lot more fluid and it just works out a lot better. And there's a few other settings that you have to do in conjunction with this one to make it actually better. So this is actually really good. And what I like about this is that left stick is always slightly active. If you're just barely touching it, it's always slightly active. So rotational aim assist is going to come in hand, and it's going to drop people really quick. You're going to feel like your aim is a lot stickier as well. It's just everything just works out in your favor having that. And then the right stick, you can set it to what you want. I put mine to max. It doesn't matter too much, the right stick. And if you have any stick drift, definitely put the minimum of the right stick a little higher. It's going to help you guys out a little better and stuff like that. And then yeah, the triggers, you don't want to put any of this on, okay? Unless for some odd reason your trigger shoots if you have it set to 0, there's no reason to have this higher than 0. Okay guys, aiming right here, horizontal I set to 12, vertical I set to 13. Okay, so I've always put vertical 1 higher. I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but I feel like vertical should be 1 higher if you want your accuracy to be better. It might just be placebo. I've been doing it for years, so it might just be placebo, but yeah, it pretty much it is what it is. That's what I set it to. I'm not going to tell you guys set it to 12 and 13. If you don't like that, you don't like it. If you like 2020, you like 2020. I can't tell you guys what to set your sensitivity to, but I could tell you guys what to set your sensitivity multiplier per zoom, and we'll get to that in a second. Everything else here, pretty much don't really touch too much. Now aim response curve type, you can set it to linear, you can send it to dynamic. I like linear. Linear is pretty chill. Again, it's another thing that I've just pretty much gotten used to having it set to that as well. And then ADS sensitivity, transition timing, instant obviously, and then finally custom sensitivity per zoom. We're about to get into one of the most important settings in the gameplay in a second for controller settings, but I just kind of want to go through the aiming first here, talk about these things, and then we'll get into that. So ADS sensitivity multiplayer on the Zoloom, I was gonna say, on the low zoom, I have it set to 90. Once you're ADSing, you don't want your sensitivity to be crazy fast. The lower your sensitivity is, the more accurate you are, the more your aim assist is working in your favor as well. So setting these lower works out, and the higher you go in zoom, the closer the person is to you on your screen. So every little movement you do, if you have it set high, it's gonna move a lot. If you have it set lower, which is why I go down by 5s every 2 zoom levels, it's just going to be a lot more sticky and a lot more in your favor. Okay, so I like that. It is what it is, and let's move on. Target aim assist on. Obviously, people say, oh, I play without aim assist. I mean, good for you. If you play without aim assist, all props to you. It's in the game. I'm going to use it. I'm having it on. Aim assist type, you can use Black Ops, you can use precision, focusing. I think Black Ops got nerfed like over a year ago, but it was just so broken at one point that I turned it on, and it did the work for you. It did the aiming for you, but I've just left it on since then. Now, I know precision's probably better. Focusing is probably better as well, but I'm used to it. I don't see a reason for me to change it. And again, this is something that you just use whatever you're comfortable with. I'm not going to tell you guys again what to do for that. And then pretty much motion sensor behavior, I got all that off. So the gameplay, this here is the 2 most important settings if you want fast movement. Okay, so you turn your left stick max to 40 before in the controller settings here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the automatic tactical sprint. That's what you want set on. The second you move that left stick, you're going to be in tactical sprint. You don't go into a regular run, you don't do anything, you go straight to tactical sprint. It's the fastest way to get that tac sprint going, and it's just instant. The second you move that joystick, you automatically go into tac sprint, and then slide maintain sprint. So every time you actually slide, you want to turn this on so that every time you finish your slide, you get right back into a sprint. It doesn't stop you, it doesn't put you into a jog, it gets you right back into tactical sprint, and it's probably the fastest. So I'm gonna use my hands here to kind of show you something. If you have this off, you go into a slide, you get up, you walk, and then you go back into tac sprint. If you have this on, pretty much you're sprinting, you slide, you go right back to sprinting. It's fast, you could get out of the way quick, you could get out of gunfights quick, you could dodge people quick, you could juke people, do whatever you got to do. It's just really nice to have that on. And then auto move forward. Yeah, you don't want this on because we already have automatic tack sprint. If you have auto move forward on, you're just gonna be tack sprinting without even touching your left joystick and stuff. I'm not into that. I want to stand still sometimes, and I don't want to have to hold back on my joystick just to stand still. So yeah, I don't mess with that. And then obviously tack stand or tactical sprint behavior, double tap, doesn't matter. You could set this to whatever the heck you want. We already got it to automatic, so that doesn't matter as well. And then pretty much all these things here, again, you guys could go ahead and pretty much just go and pause it right here, take what you want to take, do what you got to do. And again, I'll go down to here so you guys could pause all of this as well. And then finally we'll go down to the last little bit here, and you guys could pause this, take this, and pretty much if you guys want to copy it. I didn't change much down here. I don't think I changed anything down here, but yeah, there's a few things that probably are. Now the last thing I want to talk about is audio, and obviously audio is really important, and we're gonna get into the master game volume right here. Okay, so gameplay music volume, this you want to set lower. Okay, this is the music in the game while you're actually playing a match. At the beginning of a match there's music, at the end of the match there's music that starts pumping in your ears and stuff. You want to still hear footsteps, you want to still hear gunfights, you still want to hear where the enemies are, so put this lower. I set it to 30. I still want to hear it a bit, but I don't want it to be overpowering, so definitely set that to 30. The dialogue, that has nothing to do with the people you're playing with, that's pretty much just the computer, the AI, I guess you could say. It's not really AI because it's other people controlling it, but pretty much their character in game when they talk and they do call outs and stuff. That's what that is. I don't want that being super loud because they're not only doing call outs, sometimes they say pretty useless things, so I have it set to 70. And then effects, which is like footprints, gunshots, all that kind of stuff, you want that the loudest. And then pretty much everything else is pretty much the loudest as well. And yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much all I have for audio settings, guys. If you did enjoy the video, if I did help you out at all, like just drop a like for me, I would appreciate that. That's all I'm asking for. That's all you got to do. The video is free. It's YouTube, right? So why the heck not? Sub to the channel with those notifications turned on. I would appreciate that as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully these settings help you guys out. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.